Have you ever felt completely drained, as if every ounce of your emotional energy has been sucked dry? Have you ever questioned your own sanity, wondering how someone could treat you so terribly, yet somehow make you believe that you're the one at fault? If you've ever been in a relationship where someone constantly takes without giving, where their drama becomes your burden, or where every day feels like a never-ending battle, this message is for you. It's time to break free from the chains of emotional manipulation and abuse. In this video, I'm going to share with you 13 powerful, time-tested strategies for dealing with toxic people, drawn from the ancient wisdom of Stoicism. These techniques have been around for thousands of years, and they are more relevant today than ever before. Together, we'll dive deep into the world of manipulation, control, and emotional warfare, equipping you with the tools to reclaim your peace and take back your life. We live in a world where toxic relationships, whether romantic, familial, or even among friends, are all too common. People today are conditioned to manipulate others to get what they want, and those who are toxic will stop at nothing to drain you, leaving you feeling exhausted, powerless, and questioning your self-worth. But here's the truth. They do not have control over you. You have the power to rise above their tactics and protect your emotional well-being. The Stoics understood this deeply. We can control what we can, and we must let go of the rest. In this video, we'll explore 13 powerful Stoic strategies that will teach you how to handle toxic people like a true warrior. This isn't about passively accepting mistreatment, it's about taking bold, decisive action to safeguard your peace, protect yourself, and become emotionally bulletproof. Step 1. Recognize toxic behavior. Let's start with something that seems obvious but often isn't. Identifying toxic behavior. Think hard. Have you ever been in a situation where nothing you do feels good enough? Whether it's a friend, a partner, or a family member, they criticize every little thing, question your every decision, and somehow always manage to turn themselves into the victim. You find yourself apologizing, even when you haven't done anything wrong. That, my friend, is manipulation in its purest form, and it's a classic sign of toxic behavior. Toxic people are like emotional vampires. They slowly suck the life out of you, often without you even realizing it. They're masters at making small, seemingly innocent jabs that chip away at your confidence. You might hear things like, "I was just joking," or "Why are you so sensitive?" But don't be fooled. This is emotional manipulation at its finest. Toxic people love to play the victim, turning every situation around to make you feel guilty for standing up for yourself. You've probably heard, "After everything I've done for you, how could you treat me this way?" That's a classic manipulation tactic designed to make you doubt yourself and lower your defenses. The first step to breaking free is recognizing these behaviors for what they are: emotional abuse. It's not just a bad day or a misunderstanding. It's a calculated attempt to control you. Once you see through the mask, you can start taking action to protect yourself. And here's a golden rule to remember. If you find yourself constantly justifying someone's behavior to others, or even to yourself, that's a huge red flag. Healthy relationships don't require you to make excuses for mistreatment. Toxic ones do. Step 2. Understand it's not about you. Here's a powerful truth that will change everything. It's not about you. Toxic people's behavior has nothing to do with you. It's always about them. I know that may sound simple, but think about it. How many times have you taken their hurtful words to heart, questioning whether you are the problem? They make you feel like everything is your fault, but guess what? It's not. Their toxic behavior is a reflection of their own inner turmoil, their insecurities, and their inability to take responsibility for their actions. Have you ever noticed that when they're feeling insecure or stressed, maybe they had a bad day at work or are unhappy with their life, they lash out at you? Instead of dealing with their issues, they project their negativity onto you. Suddenly, you're the target. They'll twist situations to make it seem like you're the one causing all the problems. But in reality, they're just looking for someone to blame. And here's where Stoicism can truly help. The Stoics taught us that we don't control what others do, only how we respond. Toxic people want to provoke you. They want to trigger your emotions because that's how they maintain control. But once you understand that their behavior has nothing to do with you, you can rise above it. Let go of the guilt, the self-doubt, and the need to fix them, because the truth is, you can't fix them. You can only protect yourself. Step 3. Set clear boundaries. Now that you've identified toxic behavior and understood that it's not personal, it's time to set clear, non-negotiable boundaries. Toxic people hate boundaries because they limit their control over you. And here's a little secret. They will test your boundaries. It might start with small things like texting you constantly or calling at all hours, interrupting your work, or demanding your attention when you need space. Then it escalates. Before you know it, you're sacrificing your time, energy, and mental health just to keep them happy. But here's the kicker. You do not owe anyone your time or energy. Your emotional well-being is precious, and you have every right to protect it. Setting boundaries isn't selfish, it's essential. You must be able to say no without guilt, without explanation, and without fear of retaliation. Here's a simple but powerful boundary. Stop explaining yourself. Toxic people love to drag you into endless explanations. Why don't you want to do this? How come you're acting like this? Don't you care about me? They will use guilt, manipulation, and even anger to make you justify your decisions. But guess what? You don't need to justify your boundaries to anyone. Next time they try to cross a line, simply say, "This is what I need," or "I'm not available for that." Period. End of conversation. The more you stand firm in your boundaries, the more they'll realize they can't manipulate you. Eventually, they'll either adjust their behavior or move on to someone else who will tolerate their nonsense. It's time to protect your peace, reclaim your power, and stop allowing toxic people to control your life. Master the art of non-reaction. Taking back control starts with mastering one of the most powerful tools you can use: non-reaction. Toxic people thrive on your responses. They live for the drama. Every time you react, whether it's with anger, frustration, or even sadness, you give them exactly what they want: power over your emotions. They know exactly how to push your buttons, but here's the truth. You have the power to stop them dead in their tracks. Stoicism teaches us that we can't control other people's actions, but we can control how we respond. Imagine this. You're in the middle of an argument with a toxic person. They're hurling accusations, insults, and blame your way, desperately hoping to provoke a reaction. What if, instead of engaging, you stayed completely calm? What if you simply didn't react at all? It might sound impossible, but I promise you, it's one of the most powerful moves you can make. When you refuse to react to their nonsense, you strip them of their power. They can no longer control you because you're not playing their game. I know it's hard, especially when they're pushing every button you've got, but non-reaction is like building an emotional shield around yourself. The more you practice it, the less their words and actions will affect you. The next time they try to provoke you, take a deep breath. Instead of reacting impulsively, remind yourself, "I don't need to engage in this." Offer a neutral response like, "I hear what you're saying," or "I'll think about it," and then walk away from the conversation. You don't owe them your emotional energy, and you certainly don't owe them your peace of mind. Use the gray rock method. Now, let's talk about one of the most effective techniques for dealing with toxic people who thrive on chaos: the gray rock method. This technique is a total game changer when dealing with someone who craves drama and thrives on getting a reaction out of you. Toxic people want your attention, your energy, and above all, they want you to react. So, what do? You become as boring and uninteresting as possible, like a gray rock. Imagine this. Every time they try to stir up drama, you respond with the dullest, most neutral response imaginable. They're expecting you to explode, cry, or engage in a heated argument. But instead, you stay calm, indifferent, and completely uninterested in whatever chaos they're trying to create. You give them nothing to work with. Why does this work? Because toxic people feed off your energy. When you react emotionally, you're handing them fuel for their fire. But when you become a gray rock, emotionless, detached, and completely unfazed, they lose interest. They thrive on drama, and without it, they have nothing. Over time, they'll either adjust their behavior or move on to someone else who will feed their need for chaos. This isn't about being passive or allowing them to walk all over you. It's about protecting your peace by refusing to engage in their game. You're not giving them access to your emotions, and in doing so, you're regaining control over your life. The broken record technique. Toxic people are relentless. They don't take no for an answer, and they'll keep pushing you until you give in. Ever had someone try to guilt trip or manipulate you into doing something you absolutely don't want to do? Maybe it's a friend who expects you to drop everything to help them, or a partner who keeps asking for something you've already refused. These people are like bulldozers, coming at you relentlessly until you cave. This is where the broken record technique comes into play, and trust me, it's one of the most powerful tools you can use. Here's how it works. Instead of getting dragged into an argument or justifying yourself, you simply repeat your stance over and over like a broken record. Let's say someone asks you to do something unreasonable. Instead of explaining, justifying, or debating, you calmly say, "I'm not comfortable with that." They push back. You don't budge. You repeat, "I'm not comfortable with that." No emotion, no defensiveness, just calm, steady repetition. Eventually, they'll realize they can't break through your wall. They'll either give up or reveal their true colors. This technique works especially well in close relationships, where the toxic person feels entitled to your time, energy, or resources. The beauty of the broken record technique is that it doesn't escalate the situation, but it firmly reinforces your boundaries. Toxic people thrive on wearing you down, but when you stand your ground consistently, they lose their grip. Remember, your boundaries are not negotiable. You don't owe anyone an explanation for protecting your peace. Limit exposure to toxic people. One of the hardest truths you'll ever have to face is that some people are just bad for you, no matter how much you love them or how long you've known them. They bring nothing but negativity into your life, and the more time you spend with them, the more drained and unhappy you become. Toxic people are emotional parasites. They feed off your energy, your kindness, and your attention. But here's the truth you need to embrace. You don't owe them anything. Sometimes the most powerful move you can make is to limit your exposure to toxic people. I know that cutting ties or creating distance can feel incredibly difficult, especially if it's a family member, a longtime friend, or someone you care deeply about. But here's the uncomfortable reality. Your well-being has to come first. If someone constantly makes you feel small, stressed, or emotionally exhausted, it's time to put some distance between you and them. Limiting exposure doesn't mean you don't care about them. It means you care enough about yourself to protect your peace. This could mean seeing them less frequently, keeping conversations brief, or avoiding sensitive topics that trigger their toxic behavior. If it's a coworker, it could mean limiting interactions to strictly professional matters. If it's a family member, it might mean setting strict boundaries on when and how you engage with them. You can still be polite and respectful while guarding your energy. Your mental health is priceless, and toxic people are not entitled to take that from you. Build your support system. One of the most insidious tactics toxic people use is isolating you. They slowly chip away at your other relationships, making you feel like they're the only ones who truly care about you, who can be trusted. Over time, they manipulate your emotions, causing you to question your judgment and distance yourself from those who genuinely want the best for you. It's all part of the control game, a toxic web they weave to trap you. But here's the truth. You do not have to fight this battle alone. Building a strong support system is one of the most powerful ways to break free from their grip. Surround yourself with people who see your worth, who care about your well-being, and who respect your boundaries. Whether it's family, friends, or a community of like-minded individuals, having a solid support network is a game changer when it comes to navigating toxic relationships. When you have people in your corner who genuinely want to see you thrive, toxic individuals can no longer tear you down. Your support system should be made up of those who encourage you to grow, but in a way that feels empowering, not draining. These are the people who will challenge you to be your best self, but do so with kindness, not criticism. They respect your choices, stand by your boundaries, and never make you feel guilty for putting yourself first. Toxic people thrive on isolation. But when you have a network of people who lift you up, they lose their power. Your peace of mind becomes untouchable. The stronger your support system, the weaker their hold on your life. Find your people. Lean on them. Let their strength and positivity reinforce your own. Prioritize self-care. Toxic people are emotional vampires. Their constant criticism, manipulation, and negativity drain the life out of you. This is why self-care isn't just a luxury. It's an absolute necessity for survival. Think of self-care as your armor, protecting you from their toxic effects. Without it, you're vulnerable to burnout, resentment, and emotional exhaustion. But what does real self-care look like in a world filled with toxic people? It's more than bubble baths or pampering, though that helps too. True self-care is about making decisions that protect your mental, emotional, and physical health. It's about setting boundaries and saying no without feeling guilty. It's about creating space for yourself to recharge, reflect, and reconnect with your inner peace. Most importantly, it's about remembering that your needs are just as important as anyone else's. Toxic people will never prioritize you, and they'll demand that you sacrifice your well-being for their gain. But you have the right to put yourself first. You are not responsible for their emotional needs, and you do not owe them your energy or peace of mind. Self-care means knowing when enough is enough. It's okay to step back when a toxic person is pushing you to your limits. It means creating boundaries that protect your healing and your happiness. Practicing mindfulness, taking mental breaks, doing things that bring you joy. These aren't indulgences, they're vital to preserving your mental health. Recognize you cannot fix everyone. One of the hardest truths to accept when dealing with toxic people is that you cannot fix them. It doesn't matter how much you love them, how many sleepless nights you spend trying to understand their behavior, or how hard you work to help them change. The truth is, you are not their savior. You cannot save someone who doesn't want to be saved. Toxic people often live in a cycle of manipulation and blame shifting, and the more you try to fix them, the more you become trapped in their dysfunction. Have you ever bent over backward for someone, only to realize your efforts went unnoticed? Or maybe you've been in a relationship where no matter what you do, it's never enough. This is how toxic people entrap you, by making you feel guilty for not doing more. Here's the liberating truth. It's not your job to fix broken people. Stoicism teaches us that we cannot control others. We can only control ourselves. When you stop trying to fix others and start focusing on fixing your own boundaries and reactions, you will finally feel free. The moment you let go of the burden of trying to change toxic people, you reclaim your energy, your peace, and your sense of self-worth. You deserve relationships where you are valued and respected, not ones where your efforts go unnoticed or unappreciated. Let go of the fantasy of saving someone who refuses to change. Your time, energy, and love are precious, and they deserve to be invested in people who reciprocate. Practice cognitive reframing. Toxic people have an uncanny ability to make you feel like you're the villain in their story. They twist reality, manipulate situations, and make you question your own worth. But here's the truth. It's not about you. It's about them. Cognitive reframing is a powerful mental tool you can use to regain control of your emotions when dealing with toxic people. Instead of internalizing their criticism or twisted version of events, you can reframe the situation. Their behavior is not a reflection of you. It's a reflection of their own insecurities. When you shift your perspective, you strip them of the power to hurt you. For example, if a toxic person criticizes you, don't take it personally. Instead, ask yourself, is this about me, or is it a reflection of their own fears and flaws? 9 times out of 10, you'll realize that it's the latter. By reframing the situation in your mind, you protect yourself emotionally and prevent their toxicity from affecting your peace. When you stop personalizing their actions, you regain your emotional strength. You can stay calm and collected, no matter how much chaos they try to stir up. Cognitive reframing allows you to rise above their negativity and keep your peace intact. Practice forgiveness for your own peace. Forgiveness may seem like an odd concept when dealing with toxic people. After all, how can you forgive someone who has hurt you so deeply? But let me tell you this, forgiveness is not about excusing their behavior. It's about freeing yourself. Holding on to anger and resentment only hurts you. The person who wronged you has likely moved on with their life, while you're stuck replaying the same painful memories in your head. By holding on to that anger, you're only allowing them to continue controlling your emotions. Forgiveness is the ultimate form of self-care. It's not about making peace with their actions, but about releasing the emotional grip they have on you. When you forgive, you let go of the weight that's been holding you down. You free up mental space for peace, growth, and joy. Start small. Let go of minor irritations and grudges, rude comments, dismissive attitudes. Over time, this practice will strengthen your emotional resilience and prepare you to let go of even the bigger hurts. Forgiveness isn't about them. It's about reclaiming your peace and letting go of the emotional chains they've bound you with. Know when to walk away. The hardest, but most empowering decision you can make when dealing with toxic people is to walk away. It doesn't matter how much history you share or how much you love them. If someone repeatedly disrespects your boundaries, manipulates you, or drains your energy, walking away is the most powerful choice you can make. Walking away is not weakness, it's strength. It's the ultimate act of self-respect. Toxic people will try to make you feel guilty, telling you that you're abandoning them or giving up too soon. Don't listen to them. The truth is, you've already given enough. You've already fought long enough to save a relationship that only drains you. Now, it's time to choose yourself. The healthiest thing you can do is walk away from what's toxic. It's not about giving up. It's about reclaiming your peace, your life, and your future. You cannot heal in the same environment that's making you sick. If a relationship is causing you more harm than good, it's time to walk away. Walking away is not a sign of failure. It's a declaration that you deserve better. You deserve peace. You deserve relationships that nurture and uplift you, not ones that deplete and drain you. Final thought. Dealing with toxic people is one of life's most challenging experiences, but it can also be one of the most empowering. By embracing strategies like setting boundaries, mastering non-reaction, practicing self-care, and walking away when necessary, you take back control of your life and your happiness. You are not responsible for the healing of toxic people. You are responsible for yourself, and that is where your true power lies. You deserve peace. And with these strategies, peace is not just possible, it's within your reach. Outrow and call to action. You've just learned how to reclaim your power, protect your peace, and navigate the storm of toxic relationships. These strategies are not just tools, they're the keys to unlocking a life of emotional freedom, growth, and inner strength. Remember, you deserve relationships that nourish and uplift you, not ones that drain and control you. When you build a strong support system, prioritize self-care, and set clear boundaries, you'll start to see how much brighter and more fulfilling your life can become. Now, it's time for action. If you're ready to take control of your life and create the peace and happiness you deserve, subscribe to the channel for more powerful insights and strategies like this. You are not alone in this journey, and we're here to support you every step of the way. And if you feel these messages can help others, join our community by becoming a member. Together, we can break free from toxic relationships and build lives full of joy, peace, and love. Thank you for watching, and remember, you are in control of your peace. Let's make that your reality. Until next time.